South Africa have just lost the game.
Yet we must recognize that illegal immigration is not the cause of all our economic challenges. There are other causes.
Meanwhile, they are crying to President Mahama to intervene.
Work with us, and I'm rather pleased that President Mahama of Ghana has been saying he would like to make a call on other African countries to work with South Africa. And that is precisely what has triggered our intention to send envoys so that they can go and explain the type of initiatives, type of programs that we are going to embark upon.
Free offer for those sharing boundaries with them.
Every person within the borders of South Africa should be here legally.
And I'm like, what? What is going on? Because you are doing the right thing at the wrong time. These are the legitimate questions asked by South Africans. Their borders, jobs, safety, and all that.
That illegal immigration is not the cause of all our economic challenges. Many South Africans are asking difficult but legitimate questions. They are asking whether our borders are secure. They are concerned about jobs. South Africans are raising these matters because they are concerned about the pressure on our public services as well. They are concerned about safety, security, and the rule of law. These concerns are real. They deserve to be heard, and they deserve to be addressed. South Africans are asking whether government is taking the necessary steps to address these challenges.
High level of unemployment too is galore in South Africa.
South Africa faces persistently high levels of unemployment, especially amongst our young people. Too many families are struggling to make ends meet. The cost of living is very high for many of the people of South Africa. Too many communities are experiencing poverty and inadequate access to opportunities.
Which leads to,
in such circumstances, frustration can easily be directed at those who are perceived to be competitors for jobs and resources.
are illegal migration the cause of this?
Yet we must recognize that illegal immigration is not the cause of all our economic challenges. There are other causes.
What are those?
The answer must be faster economic growth, greater investment, industrial expansion, infrastructure development, and the creation of millions of new jobs. These are precisely the issues that our government is working on.
You allow migration, but you can't protect them in your system. What a failure you are.
As a democracy, we have welcomed visitors to our country. In line with our international obligations on the issue of migration and our constitutional values, we accept people from other countries who are in need of protection from wars, conflicts, discrimination, and violence. Like every other country in the world, we have laws that determine who can come to our country, South Africa, and what they can do whilst they are here, and how long they can stay. Our laws are very clear on this.
What a failure you are. President of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, you are a failure. Look at what you've caused to other African countries, to all Africa. Look, this thing is not a joke.
The basic principle on which we all agree is that every person within the borders of South Africa should be here legally, not illegally. Every person who works in our country must be legally permitted to work here. Every person who runs a business here must be legally permitted to run such a business. The challenge we have is that some people have migrated to our country irregularly and are here illegally. South Africa has a right to implement policies and measures that prevent irregular migration. Our country is committed to protect, uphold, and advance the human rights of all people in our country, whether they are citizens or foreign nationals. We are committed to honor our international obligations that deal with matters of migration.
In fact, they've started bleeding, regretting, in tears, just before the 30th of June. You guys have not seen anything yet, because this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Because you don't take any African immigrant for anything. Hey, when you are dealing with illegal immigrant, that's fine. But when you begin to ransack around the whole thing, then you are like all foreigners. What are you talking about? This is real xenophobic.
It's not looking for whether you have documents or you don't have documents. His own is, he speaks their language to you, and if you are not able to reply with their language, it means you are a foreigner. So then they push you out of your shop. So you see what he's doing? This illiterate guy, look what he's doing. When he realized that you can't speak their language, it means you're a foreigner. Then they drag you out of the shop. Whether the shop belongs to you or it doesn't belong to you, they drag you out of the shop. So this is what this illiterate guy is moving about in South Africa doing.
South Africans are not xenophobic. South Africans are Africans. They want to live with other Africans peacefully.
We have heard a lot. We have heard enough. This time around, let's listen to the rest of the cases he made there. Because if you know that you have failed your people, other African countries' citizens should not bear the consequence just because they are immigrants in your country. If you are new here, subscribe to be part of us, and let's watch the rest of the video. In fact, you deserve to hear the rest.
Discrimination and violence. Like every other country in the world, we have laws that determine who can come to our country, South Africa, and what they can do whilst they are here, and how long they can stay. Our laws are very clear on this. The basic principle on which we all agree is that every person within the borders of South Africa should be here legally, not illegally. Every person who works in our country must be legally permitted to work here. Every person who runs a business here must be legally permitted to run such a business. The challenge we have is that some people have migrated to our country irregularly and are here illegally. South Africa has a right to implement policies and measures that prevent irregular migration. Our country is committed to protect, uphold, and advance the human rights of all people in our country, whether they are citizens or foreign nationals. We are committed to honor our international obligations that deal with matters of migration. The responsibility for enforcing immigration laws rests with the state and the state alone. There have been weaknesses in the way migration has been managed in our country. There have been weaknesses in rigorous and focused enforcement. We admit that. And there have been weaknesses of corruption. There have been gaps in our systems that have undermined public confidence. South Africans are entitled to expect better. We accept that responsibility, and we are taking decisive action to correct these shortcomings. No other person is allowed, for example, to confront someone in the street, in the pathways of our country, to demand proof of identity. We know that South Africans are not xenophobic, as there is no space for xenophobia, for racism, for sexism, for Afrophobia, or any other form of intolerance in South Africa. We will and must not allow groups to use the legitimate concerns of South Africans to destabilize our country through inciting lawlessness and violence. We will act against forces who are exploiting the concerns of our people about illegal immigration to further their own political, personal, and criminal agendas.
Ladies and gentlemen, so these are the happenings. These are some of the words from the president of South Africa. It is too late. It is too late. This should have been done long time ago. You know, all these interventions, all the measures, all the tightening of the borders and all alike. But you were sitting ideally because there was no job for you, because there was no pressure on you. What is going on? What is going on? So in fact, this is just the beginning of their crisis. You have not yet cried yet enough, because your tourism site has to decline. The tourism site is going to collapse. Yes, because even if you offer free for our citizens, for instance, Ghana, they will never come. They will never come. And we are here to see what is going to happen. In fact, what is your thought on this? Because to me, I think this is just crocodile tears. Yeah, they are just crying for, sympathy. Sympathy from, the neighboring countries and all that. You should have confronted with the reality in grounds. But you allow it to escalate. Now that you are telling us that this is Kwaku and Nancy stories. We call it Kwaku and Nancy stories. Yeah. What is this? All right, ladies and gentlemen. So what is your take on this? Kindly share it with us in the comment section. We'll be glad to see it and then have a nice cover. In fact, there are more updates that we have for you. In fact, Emerson for Zazi, aka the one thing only, you be the head. Merasi.
Hello to my lovely ones, Fifi Robertson. Keep on watching DH Celebrity News. It's the best so far among the rest.